This is known as the most mysterious song on the internet. It comes from a tape from a person named Darius. And in this episode of the History of Fan Anime, I'm going to go and cover my experience, which is very similar to Darius's, and also come up with my own anime version of the most mysterious thing on the internet. So stay tuned, and we'll get started with this episode. My name is William Chow, and I am the host of the History of Fan Anime. And in today's episode, we're going to go over this most mysterious song on the internet and basically the things that have crossed over unexpectedly. The year is 1985. The 18-year-old me has covered the walls with his favorite rock bands, being a child of the MTV generation. All my favorite bands and artists are all laid out there. One of my favorite artists, the record is sitting on my desk there, Bananarama, and would have listened to Cruel Summer quite a lot, as that was one of my favorite songs from them. The 18-year-old me also went and, like most kids, got their driver's license. I only got 10 demerits for staying too long at a four-way stop, so I did get my license that year. I was also getting lots of European music. We called it fob music because a lot of the Hong Kong immigrants were bringing the European music over on audio cassettes. And I'd be trying to get collections of those songs. And a lot of those songs, I didn't know the names of the songs because they didn't play them on North American radio stations. A lot of those bands like Modern Talking, Joy, and those kind of bands are not played over here. So I wouldn't have known the titles of those until much later. Anyway, like Darius, I recorded a lot of my music and that stuff off of MTV, Much Music, and straight off the radio. My recorder of choice at the time was a standard mono Radio Shack standalone tape recorder. And basically, whenever the songs showed up on the radio or on the Much Music, I was able to press record and record many tapes of all of my favorite songs. And on them, some of them I would get some unknown songs, and so over time my collection grew to over 400 audio cassettes filled with different music and that kind of stuff, different mixes that I recorded off of the radio. Now, like Darius, he hand typed all his playlists and that kind of stuff. I was a little more tech savvy. I did actually have an Apple II computer as well as a Macintosh computer, and I typed in the entire list of all my tapes and that kind of stuff on a database program in the Apple II computer. I too, like Darius, have a sister. She's shown the picture over here, as well as my cousin Ed. So in 1985, I did graduate from high school and then proceeded to go on to the University of British Columbia to begin computer sciences. And with that, I started getting digital versions using Napster and whatnot to get some of the songs and whatnot from the internet and to replace some of the analog versions I had on my tape cassettes. I already had a database, obviously, of all the tapes from the printout that I got from my Apple computer. So I was able to use university computers to download off of the internet at high speed, since everyone was still at dial-up this time. One of the things I did is, as the list of songs got less and less, and the number of cassettes got less and less, I started to compile and put all the various different songs that I didn't know onto one cassette, so that I'll have one sort of tape that contains all the songs that I don't know. I can hope to then find some people that may be able to identify some of these songs. With time and the development of the internet, programs like Shazam, SoundHound, and things like that, managed to identify most of the songs that were on those cassettes and found versions for them. There are a few that the program managed to, make corrections for me. One example was I thought the song Jam Session was done by Jaluka, but of course it wasn't. That made corrections. And all the way into the YouTube internet, where I finally managed to get my entire cassette down to one song. And so I uploaded the song to YouTube, hoping that I'd get a copyright strike for it, and they would be able to identify and find it for me.
I really loved you, but you never gave me the time of day. Always thinking of you. Just turn from me and you hear me say, what are you looking for? I don't really know, but I hope I find it. Who are you searching for? I don't really know, but I hope I find it.
It wasn't. So, after some time and some browsing around, I finally managed to find and come across this song. And this is the last song that I needed to know what it was. And so,
but you would just turn from me and you'd hear me say, what are you looking for? I don't really know, but I hope I find it. Who are you searching for? I don't really know, but I hope I find it.
and so, in terms of being the most mysterious song on the internet, my story ended up with a happy ending. One of the things that wasn't mentioned about Darius is that usually when you record stuff off the radio, you can get some stuff that it's just not anywhere. And I have two examples of one things that I have. One parody song called Bye Bye Wham. So this is LG73 Morning Zoo making a parody version of the song from Wham.
We've made all the money that we can, and through, you are through, 'cause I've had enough to hear, and I'm really getting sick. Baby, it's bye bye Wham. Let's talk to the lawyers now, baby. Bye bye Wham. Right.
Please, I'm sorry, I really am, but
What's the problem now, Andrew?
I don't have to take this crap from this tanned, George,
I'm getting tired of this, Andrew.
you promised to introduce me to that party.
You're a switch. I didn't want to talk to you anyway.
In France last spring.
I don't care.
You left me in the bleeding bathroom with Bloody Elton John.
You deserved it.
A little advance notice on this.
Hold on for a
A
second,
little
Andrew.
advance notice on this.
Hold this for a second, Andrew. Yes, this is George Michael, yes.
What do you mean we owe you another bleeding album? The lawyers they were supposed to take.
How much money did you say we'd get?
Money?
How many millions?
How many, George? 350,000. Oh, Chris, roll tape.
Rolling, Wham, take 276.
And there's another one called Stop It Amadeus, which is based on the Falco version of Rock Me Amadeus.
Amadeus, Amadeus, we're so tired of Amadeus, Amadeus. Please stop playing Amadeus, Amadeus. We're so sick of that song. We got to stop that Amadeus. Amadeus, Amadeus, you keep playing Amadeus, Amadeus. We keep hearing Amadeus, Amadeus. Seems like all day long.
Ooh, drop it, Amadeus. Ooh, stop it, Amadeus. Ooh, drop it, Amadeus. Ooh, stop it, Amadeus. Ooh, would you just quit it, Amadeus?
Break it. I think you ought to break it. Break it. Tired of it. I am so tired of it. Tired of it. Poop, 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 poop on it. Poop on it. Poop on it. Dumb? It's dumb. Real dumb.
1986, February 3rd, K-Plus FM adds Falco's Rock Me Amadeus. February 5th, Rock Me Amadeus replaces Sly Fox as Seattle's most requested song. February 20th, Rock Me Amadeus begins its third week atop the K-Plus hit election. By Friday of that same week, outcries from weary listeners were heard throughout the Northwest. Even impassioned pleas from Constance Weber's great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter can't stop it. February 28th, John Taylor finally has one night atop the K-Plus hit election. March 1986, K-Plus finally considers...
So I made this video because I wanted to basically put forth that the experience that I think Darius is having is very, very similar to mine, and probably many of us who lived this entire, came out of the MTV generation just the same way I did. We've got tapes of course, of things that we've recorded not on audio cassette as well as video cassette, of things that would probably, would never ever have come out of light. I just wanted to make out and point out that, as enthusiasts like ourselves, we've managed to basically trap a piece of time on an audio cassette. That basically now this is the only thing that's left of that particular cassette because everything else about it is gone. And that's what leads to these things like, the search for this most mysterious song on the internet. I can leave you another example. I was listening to a program. It's the Into the Night show from Tony Bruno, and he's a very popular sportscaster. He was on the air during 9/11, and to current knowledge, that what he's looking for is an audio copy of his show when he was on the air for that duration of time. Apparently, the people at the radio station, that's the thing, they don't have copies of that, and they don't have any sort of record of that. And at least in terms of his life, that would be one of the things that he'd be searching for. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I was going to come up with an anime example of something that I believe exists, and I think, and I know it should be out there. In the very early stages of anime, when the first OVAs came out in 1985, I remember getting into anime and starting to collect anime audio cassettes and that kind of stuff. And one of the things, it's 40 years now, so I mean, one of the things I thought existed, and I remember putting onto a tape, was the soundtrack for Maddox 01. Now I've got a CD catalog which lists virtually all the CDs that have been ever released in Japan, and it was updated up to 1992, and I got another version of 1995, which basically publishes it's a catalog, dictionary type of thing, of all the CDs that were released in Japan up to that point. And it comes with the serial numbers and the ordering numbers, some track contents, and of course the yen price. Okay, it doesn't list it in that book, but I don't think that this actually came out on CD, because it was one of the first OVAs that first came out with the first launching of a lot of these original OVAs. And being a one-shot, it's really kind of difficult, even being an Artemis Unit title. But I believe it is out there, maybe not on record, but on maybe audio cassette. And the reason why I think it's there is because I used to make audio mixes, mixtapes, and one of the ones I'm used to making was I used to make combat mixes. I remember I remember labeling one called Rapid Fire. I remember I labeled another one called Strike Wing, and the combat sequence in Maddox was really catchy. And so I remember putting that on one of my mixtapes, without all the combat sounds and all the explosions and that kind of stuff that's there. Now, I believe that this exists, and this is my proposal to the internet: is see if this audio version of audio soundtrack of Maddox does exist, and to find out where that is, and to to uncover it, maybe the cover or maybe the actual the tape or whatever, and it comes out there. Otherwise, we might have to wait several more years for AI to get good enough to reconstruct the song without the sound effects. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, that's my thing. So again, if you know any information about that, maybe or someone who knows anything about the subreddit, do try to reach out and give your information and leads out there and see what we can find. All right. So thank you for listening. And again, if you're interested in more sort of in-depth and sort of personal stories like this of mine, by all means, below, click like and click subscribe and put your comments down below. So, until next time, I will see you again.